Everything you want when you want it. Wait for me, just for me, fall for me, even when you
Hey guys, Nate from Richard's Guitar Studio, and today we're going to go over the song Eclipsed by the band Evans Blue. And this song was, I found this on Facebook actually. Some old friends were posting stuff up about it, and so I thought I'd pass it along to you. The first thing is you want to open up the tabs that are with the video, because I'm going to refer to them the whole time for the lesson. The other thing is the tuning. I'm going to give you the tuning. It's a little bit of a weird guitar tuning here. So we have everything is in E flat, half step down, but the B string is another whole step lower than that, so it's going to be an A flat. So here's an E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, A flat, and E flat. Okay, so go ahead and open up the tabs, and once you're in tune, then we'll start off with the main verse riff. It sounds like this. The main part. So slower. Alright, so basically, if you see on the tabs there, I put the picking in for you. It's 3 downs, and then you have alternate picking after that. So down, 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 up, like that. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, down, down. So you're essentially holding a power chord here on the 7th fret. You could use your 3rd finger or your 4th, it doesn't matter. And then you extend that by 1 fret. It's a little bit of a stretch. That's why sometimes I'll use my 4th finger. And then you move the same chord down to the 5th fret, 5th and 7th. And there you go. So the way they end that is just on that last chord, that power chord on the 7th fret. So it sounds like this. And that's the transition into the chorus. Real quick, the lead guitar on top of that part. I don't have this memorized yet. Sorry, so I'm looking at the notes with you. The verse lead is the first verse and the second verse have slightly different lead patterns. Here's the first one. By the way, the lead guitar player I noticed was in an E flat standard, but I just put everything into that same tuning. That way, if you're learning both parts, you can just learn it all on the same guitar. You don't have to keep retuning it. Here's the lead part. If you have a phaser, use a phaser. repeats, and then you see in measure 12 the transition to the chorus. So after you repeat that line for the verse 1 lead, you jump to measure 12 and do the transition. And then you move into the chorus lead. Alright. Verse 2, we do the same thing, measure 8, except for it's a little bit different. The first time goes like this. Next time through, that 10th fret is a 12th fret, so that'll sound like this. Okay, and that's the end of this verse 2 lead. And then you do the same transition into the chorus. Like that. Alright. So that's a lead pattern. If you are playing this with a band, then you have both parts, written out for you. The chorus. So you have a little bit of a pickup note here with some dead-end notes. Sounds like this. So it's up, down, up, like that. So I have those pickings written there for you. The chorus, basically just power chords, A power chord, and then you kind of lift it and hit the strings as you move up to the 8th fret. Same thing as you slide back down, you kind of hit an up. It's a really muddy, sludgy kind of a sound. A lot of distortion. I don't have nearly as much distortion on here as they do on theirs. So it kind of like, it doesn't matter if the transition between the chords is a little bit, sludgy. It's the best word I can think of. And then coming to the end of the riff there, right at the end of measure 15, you have the power chord, and then as you lift it up and you play an upstroke and hit some open strings before you get to that 6th fret B flat chord. Like that, okay? So I'll play that part slower one time. Start on the pickup. So it's like 1, 2, 3. And then the last part of the chorus, the 4th time you do it, at measure 16, sounds like this. Alright, so basically the same kind of strumming idea. And then you slide into the G chord like that, and then you kind of lift a little bit on that upstroke like that, and you end the same way with that open thing between those two chords. All right, so that's your chorus. The chorus lead sounds like this. So the reason I have that last open note in there, if you see that, measure 23 in parentheses, is that I thought it's kind of hard to hear, but I thought I was hearing that on the repeat. So you would play, instead of, when you repeated it, instead of starting 7, 8, 7, 8, you would play open 8, 7, 8 on the repeat. It's so hard to hear in the background of the song that I don't think it really makes a difference. But that's the note to end on. You're going to end on that open A flat note. So a couple things. So you've got to watch the picking. Let's try to get that feel down. Not much there. A little bit of a hammer-on and slide thing here at the end. Measure 22. Okay, so I'll play that slowly all the way through. Once you get to the bridge, you have this part. Okay, so that's the lead part. And basically you're just, again, I had to sort of rearrange this, so that's why it's a little bit of a stretch. Now here you want to hold this high note, the 10th fret, as you play the other 10 underneath of it, because this is kind of like an accompaniment note, this 10th fret. So this is the main note, accompaniment, and then back down. So so that's that little thing, and then in the background the rhythm guitar is playing this second and third finger on this chord. Like that, okay? Same picking pattern as before in the verse. And then you have, at the end of that, you have a couple of chords like that, played, you know, whole notes and half notes. So that's it gets you into the bridge, that part. That's the first part of the bridge. Alright, the next part of the bridge, the lead guitar plays this chord. This is an A minor add 9. It's kind of a cool sounding chord. Alright, this is part F, by the way. Underneath of that, the acoustic version has these chords. Right, they're the same chords we were just playing. That's what I'm hearing in the acoustic version of the song. The studio version, I'm hearing this. It's far enough in the background where you can't really hear it that great, so whichever one I think you prefer is the one to do. Okay, so after that goes, I think 4 times. Then you have the third part of the bridge, letter G, which is the heavy section, and that sounds like this. Slower. that's going to lead right back into the chorus. On top of that, there's sort of a combination of these little melodies you've heard so far in the song. This one is a lead. And then also in the background, I didn't tab this out, but you can hear a little bit of this. From the chorus lead part. So maybe for that part, if you have an extra guitar player in your band, just do what you can, like putting those little bits together for the lead there over the heavy section of the bridge. The last chorus, there's one time, I think it's the third time through, when you play it, this is letter H, there's a little fill in there that changes it up. So you start off, then when you go to this chord on letter H, it goes like this. And then it continues on. So that measure again. So you're going to go down, down, up, down. Like that, okay? And that's that little fill. You'll hear that in there on the last chorus. And then the outro sounds like this. That just goes, that whole measure goes 3 times. And then the final 2 measures of that's letter I. The final 2 measure goes like this. Oh, sorry. Last 2 measures of that. So this would be measure 34. I'll do that again. That's how the rhythm guitar ends the song. The lead guitar outro sounds like this. Alright, so this last chord there, that A minor add 9, that's going to ring out on top of the that rhythm guitar part. So I wanted to kind of just quickly run through all those parts. I don't mean to rush through them, but hopefully you were able to pick up how to interpret the tablature that's on there. If you have any questions, comment on the video, send us an email, richards@richardsguitarstudio.com. But this is a really good song. I'm glad I found this one, and have fun with it.